Magnanimous morning sa mga masipuno at matrikit kong mga tuties. Today is Monday, and you know it is also Math Day. How was your weekend? I hope you have spent it happily with your friends or with your family. By the way, ako nga pala ang inyong tutor sa kaorasang ito. Ako ang magtutulay ng kaalaman sa Mathematics 5 para sa oras na ito. Ako si Tutor Jordan mula sa SDO, Mabalakad City. With no further ado, let us now make our day happier as we start our ETULAY session with our topic, place value and value of a digit, reading and writing decimals, and rounding off decimals. We would like to acknowledge the development team of these modules from DepEd Region 8, from the writers up to the management team. Maraming salamat po. Objectives. At the end of these modules, you will be able to first give the place value and the value of a digit of a given decimal number through 10,000s. Second, read and write decimal numbers through 10,000s. And of course, round decimal numbers to the nearest hundred and thousand. To start our lesson, we will define what is a decimal. Decimal is a number that is written with a dot or yung ating decimal point. Ito yon, yung tuldok na makikita natin dun sa ating number. To continue, the decimal point between the part of the number that is equal to 1 or more. Sa part na ito yung 105. Ang 105 ang ating whole number. It is on the left portion of our decimal point. Next, to continue, and the part of the number that is less than 1. Yung number naman na less than 1 ay yung number na makikita natin sa left portion ng ating or sa right portion ng ating decimal point. So ito yung 75 or yung 0.75. So 105 is the whole number and 75 represents the number that is less than 1. Decimal also represents a mixed number. Mixed number siya ng whole number, which is nga yung written dun sa before the decimal point or dun sa left portion niya. And the fraction part is written after the decimal point. So kung i-convert natin ito into a fraction or dun sa ating mixed number, it will be 105 and 75 over 100 or 105 and 75 hundredths. Let's now go with the place value and value of a digit. The place value is the position of the digit in a number. It determines the value that the number holds. So yung place value, siya yung magdidikta kung ano ang magiging value ng digit natin. So kung nasa ang place value siya, doon magdidikta kung ano ang magiging value natin. And ano nga ba ang value? The value of a digit in a given decimal is the product of that digit holding the decimal place and the value of that position. So mamaya, maiintindihan nyo lalo kapag nagpunta na tayo sa ating example. So to better understand what is place value and the value of a digit, let us have this situation. Sarah went to a gym. After working out, her weight is 138.4625 pounds. So mamaya, tuturuan ko din kayo kung paano ang tamang pagbasa ng ating mga decimal or on how to properly read decimal numbers. So ngayon, meron tayong given na 138.4625. Dito muna tayo magfo-focus sa pagkuha ng mga place value and value ng mga digit. With decimals, we have two set of numbers, the whole numbers and the decimal numbers. The whole numbers starts from the decimal point going to the left. So kapag binasa natin or para ma-identify natin ang place value ng ating mga digits na whole numbers ay magsisimula tayo from the decimal point going to the left. So we'll start from ones, tapos tens, hundreds, and then thousands. On the other way around naman, para ma-identify natin ang place ng mga numbers na nasa right portion ng ating decimal point, we'll start from the decimal point going to the right. So we'll start from tens, and then hundreds, and then thousands, and then 10,000s. So the digit that is in the ones place ay yung 8. Since siya ang unang number na makikita natin mula sa decimal point papunta ng left. Siya yung pinakaunang number mula sa decimal point papunta ng left. So 8 ang digit na nasa ones place. Ngayon naman, alam nyo kaya kung ano ang digit na nasa tens place? Ano kaya ang digit na nasa tens place? And if your answer is 3, you are correct. Ang galing. So ang nasa tens place naman natin na digit ay yung 3. Since siya ang pangalawang digit, kasunod nung 8 mula dun sa decimal point. And last for our whole numbers, ano naman ang digit na nasa hundreds place? And if your answer is 1, you are doing great. Yes, ang nasa hundreds place naman ay yung digit 1. So for our whole numbers, which is yung 138, ang place natin for 8 ay yung ones place. And yung place naman natin para sa 3 ay tens. And yun namang sa 1 natin ay yung sa hundreds place. Let us now proceed with the tens place. And what will be the digit in the tens place? So magsisimula na tayo ngayon naman sa mga digits na nasa right portion ng ating decimal point. And the first digit after the decimal point is 4. Correct. So ang nasa tens place natin ay yung 4 since siya ang unang number pagkatapos ng ating decimal point. Next, ano naman ang nasa hundreds place? Or anong digit naman ang nasa hundreds place? And yes, if your answer is 6, you are correct. 6 ang digit na nasa hundreds place. We can now move with the thousands place. Ano naman kayang digit ang nasa thousands place? Yes, 2 ang ating nasa thousands place. And lastly, ang 5 naman will fall under the 10,000s place. Ayan, meron na tayong mga place value ng bawat digit dun sa number natin ng 138.4625. Ngayon naman, pagpunta naman tayo dun sa ating value. Sabi kanina, value is the product of the digit and the place value it's holding. So kung kunwari itong 8, ang place value niya ay nasa ones, i-multiply natin siya by 1. So 8 times 1, ang magiging value niya ay 8. Very good. Ngayon naman, paano naman kaya itong nasa tens place naman siya? What will be the value of 3 in 138.4625 kung nasa tens place siya? Yes, 30. Dahil i-multiply natin by 10 ang 3. 3 times 10, it will be 30. Ito naman, napakadali. Hundreds place. 100. Sabi dito, meron tayong digit na 1. And ilan kaya ang magiging value niya dun sa ating number kung nasa hundreds place ang 1? Yes, 100. Very good. So ang value ng 1 ay 100, ang value ng 3 ay 30, at ang value naman ng 8 ay 8 pa rin. Ngayon naman, pumunta na tayo dun sa ating mga numbers na nasa right ng ating decimal point. Our first digit is 4. And kailangan natin makuha ang value niya na may place value na tens. So, ang ating value para sa first digit after the decimal point will be 4/10 or 0.4. Ayun naman, punta naman tayo dun sa 6. Since nasa hundreds place siya at ang digit ay 6, ang magiging value niya ay 600 or 0.06. Ayun naman, kayo naman ang tatanungin ko, ano ang magiging value ng ating digit na 2 kung ito ay nasa place na thousandths place? And if your answer is 0.002 or 2 thousandths, you are correct. Lastly, 10 thousandths naman tayo, which is yung nasa digit na 5. Ano ang magiging value nito? And if your answer is 0.0005 or 5/10,000, you are doing wonderful. Para mas maging wonderful ang ating araw sa pagkuha ng place value and value ng digit, kompletuhin natin ang table na ito. In 2.4895, kukunin natin kung ano ang nasa missing box. Number 1, itong digit 2. Given na ang place value niya, which is yung ones. At kailangan nating sagutin kung ano ang magiging value nito doon sa number na 2.4895. And if your answer is 2, correct. Next naman tayo. Given naman ngayon ay yung value niya. So meron tayong value na 4/10 or 0.4. Ano kaya ang magiging place value ni 4 dun sa ating number na 2.4895? And yes, if your answer is tenths, you are correct. Ngayon naman, dun sa pangatlo na tayo. 8 naman. Tinatanong pa din kung ano ang place value ng 8 dun sa ating number. At given na dito ang kanyang value na 0.00 or 0.08 or 8 hundredths. Ano kaya ang place value niya? And nabanggit na ni Tutor na 800, so ang kanyang place value ay hundreds. Galing! Number 9 naman or yung digit 9 naman, ano kaya ang value niya kung ito ay nasa thousandths place? And yes, it is 9 thousandths or 0.009. Plus, yung 5 naman na nasa place value na 10 thousandths. Ano kaya ang magiging value nito? And if your answer is 0.0005 or 5/10,000, you are correct. I hope you got it all correct at pwede na tayo mag-proceed sa ating next subtopic, which is reading and writing decimals. With this situation, according to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or BSP, as of November 9, 2021, the peso-dollar exchange rate is 50.1666 Philippine peso to 1 US dollars. How do you read 50.1666? So let us follow the steps in reading decimals para naman mas mabasa natin ng tama kung ano talaga ang pagbasa dito sa number na 50.1666. So we have this number and our first step is to read the whole number. And nabanggit natin kanina na ang ating whole number ay yung mga number or yung mga digits na nasa left portion ng ating decimal point. So ang ating whole number dito ay itong 50 at kapag binasa natin ito, ito ay 50. Very good. So step number 1, read the whole number and the whole number in this number is 50. Next step, read the decimal point as end. So hindi na natin siya babasahin as point. Babasahin natin siya bilang end. So step 1 and step 2, 50 end. Ngayon naman, step number 3, read the number to the right of the decimal point as a whole number. So, itong number na nasa right niya ay babasahin natin siya bilang isang whole number. And yung numbers or yung mga digits na nasa right portion ng ating decimal point ay 1, 6, 6, at 6. At kapag binasa natin ito as a whole number, it is 1,666. Very good. Step number 4, or our last step in reading decimals. Step number 4, when you are done reading the number to the right of the decimal point, say the place value of the last digit. So ang last digit natin sa number na ito ay yung pangatlong 6. At ang place value nito, kung ito ay nasa pang-apat na number after ng ating decimal point ay 10,000. So kapag binasa natin ng buo from step 1 to step 4, ito ay 50 and 1,666 10,000s. Nakuha nyo ba ang tamang pagbasa sa ating decimals? Very good. So how do you read 0.15? Suppose our example is 0 ang whole number. How are we going to read this? So parang dun sa ating fraction or dun sa ating mixed number ay 0 ang ating whole number at ang natitira na lang ang ating fraction part. So pwede na tayo mag-skip dun sa kanina na step 1 at step 2. We can now proceed right away with our step number 3 since 0 na ang ating whole number. At ang step number 3 natin ay read the number to the right of the decimal point as a whole number. So sabi dito, read the number to the right at ang numbers or ang mga digits na nasa right ng ating decimal point ay 1 and 5. At kapag binasa natin ito as a whole number, it is 15. Very good. Step number 4. When you are done reading the number to the right of the decimal point, say the place value of the last digit. So ang ating last digit sa ating given ay 5. At ang place value nito ay hundreds. So meron na tayong whole number or pagkakabasa dun sa ating whole number at yung place value niya. So ang pagkakabasa ng 0.15 ay 15 hundredths. Let us try reading 12.0367 using the steps in reading decimals. Step number 1, read the whole number. Ano nga ba ang whole number natin sa ating given number? 12. Very good. Step number 2, read the decimal point as end. So pwede na natin idagdag yung end, which is yung point. So 12 end. Very good. Step number 3, read the number to the right of the decimal point as a whole number. Ano nga ba ang mga digits na nasa right ng ating decimal point? 0, 3, 6, and 7. At kapag binasa natin ito as a whole number, it is 367. Last step, when you are done reading the number to the right of the decimal point, say the place value of the last digit. At ang last digit natin dito ay 7. At kapag kinuha natin ang place value ni 7, ito ay 10 thousandths. Now, we can now read 12.0367 as 12 and 367 10,000ths. Nakuha niyo ba ang tamang sagot? Magaling! Ngayon naman, rounding off decimal numbers. With this situation, Javier is a grade 5 student of Tinambacan District. Every day, he walks a distance of 10 and 3,456 10,000 meters in going to school from his house. To the nearest hundreds and to the nearest thousands, how far does Javier walk every day from his house to school? So the problem situation above calls for rounding off the decimal to the nearest hundreds and to the nearest thousands. For further understanding about this situation, let us have the step-by-step process in rounding off the decimal numbers. So we have this given of 10 and 3,546 ten thousandths. So pwede na tayo mag-proceed dun sa ating first step, which is find the rounding digit occupying the place you are rounding to. Sabi kanina din sa situation, round the nearest hundredths. Ano nga ba ang digit na nasa hundredths place? Yes, it is 5. Ating rounding digit ay yung 5. Sabi dito sa step number 1, then look at the digit at the right of the rounding digit. Ano nga ba ang nasa right ng ating rounding digit? Is it 3 or is it 4? Yes, it is 4. So dito sa step number 2, kailangan pa rin natin malaman kung ano yung ating rounding digit at yung number na nasa right niya. So, katulad ng sinabi natin kanina, ang nasa right ni 5 ay yung 4. So, we can now proceed with step number 2. If the number right after the rounding digit is less than 5, less than 5 means mas mababa kaysa sa 5. So, yun ay ang 4, yung 3, yung 2, yung 1, at 0. You have to round down. Tandaan, kapag ang number na katabi ng ating rounding digit ay less than 5, we need to round down. Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng round down? This is done by leaving the last decimal place as it is given and discarding all the digits to its right. So ang tinutukoy dito na leaving the last decimal place ay yung rounding digit natin. So itong 5. Sabi dito kasi 'di ba ililive natin siya, pwede natin siyang iwan. So magiging siyang 5 pa din. And nakalagay dito ay to discard all the digits to its right or pwede natin siyang gawin as 0. So yung 4 magiging 0 din, pati na din yung 6. So our answer is 10 and 3,510 thousandths. So, paano natin masasabi na nag-round down siya kung pareho pa din naman ang ating rounding digit? Pansinin ninyo yung ating 4 at 6, naging 0 sila. So, parang from 3,546, nag-round down siya into 3,500. So, parang siyang nabawasan ng 46. Yon ang ibig sabihin ng ating round down. Pero nandito sa ating step number 2 na to discard all the digits to its right. So yung mga 0 ay aalisin na din natin. So magiging sagot natin ay 10 and 35 hundredths. Mawawala na yung dalawang 0. So muli, kapag sinabi nating round down, kapag ang rounding digit natin, ang katabi niya sa right ay less than 5, we need to round down. We need to keep the rounding digit and discard all the digits to its right. Paano naman kaya kung ang case natin ay yung more than or greater than 5 naman siya? Or I mean, kapag ang ating rounding digit ay equal to 5 or greater than 5. So yung step naman natin dito ay we need to round up if the number right after the rounding digit is greater than or equal to 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you have to round up. So kung kanina meron tayong round down, ngayon naman round up naman. At ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin kapag round up? This is done by adding 1 to the rounded digit, then wrapping all the digits to its right. So in this case, we will round 10 and 3,546 ten thousandths to the nearest 10 thousandths. I mean, to the nearest thousandths. And ang digit na nasa thousandths place natin ay yung 4. At ano nga ba ang digit na nasa right niya? Yon ay yung 6. At pasok siya dun sa qualification natin na dapat equal to 5 or greater to 5. Since 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 yon. So, ang gagawin natin ay dadagdagan natin ang ating rounding digit with 1. At ang rounding digit natin ay 4. Magdadagdag tayo ng isa. 4 plus 1, it will be 5. At idadrop natin ang digit natin to its right or gagawin natin siyang 0. So dito, 4 plus 1 magiging siyang 5. Kaya ang sagot natin ay 10 and 3,550, 10,000. Kung kanina, nag-round down siya, nabawasan siya ng 46. Ngayon naman, naging siyang 50 or 3,550, nadagdagan siya ng 4. Kaya nag-round up ito. Kaso, nasa step natin na to drop all the digits to its right. So magiging siyang 10 and 355,000. Identify whether to round down or to round up the underlying digit. This is for our exercise. So example number 1, we have 51 and 732 thousandths. The underlying digit is 3. Ngayon, kailangan natin tignan kung ano ang nasa right ng ating underlying digit. At ang underlying digit natin ay 3. Ano nga bang nasa right niya? It is 2. Are we going to round down or round up? And if your answer is down, correct. Next example, 37 and 596 thousandths. Underlying digit is 9. At ang katabi niya ay 6. Are we going to round down or round up? And yes, the answer is up. Very good. Next example, 17 and 428 thousandths. Are we going to round down or round up? Since ang katabi ni 2 ay 8, we are going to round up. Very good. Last, 30 and 361 thousandths. Underlying digit is 6. And the number to its right is 1. So are we going to round down or round up? Yes, round down. To have an exercise with rounding off decimals, let us have this activity. We need to round off the decimals to the nearest hundreds. Example, or example number 1, 51 and 732 thousandths. And naka-indicate na dito na we need to round down. What will be our final answer? Yes, it is 51 and 73 hundredths. Next, 37 and 596 thousandths. At nakalagay na dito na we need to round up. Tandaan na kapag nag-round up tayo ay magdadagdag tayo ng isa dun sa ating rounding digit. In this case, our underlying digit is 9. At kapag nagdagdag tayo ng isa ay magiging siyang 10. So ang gagawin natin ay we need to carry over the 1 to the left number of the rounding digit. Tagalogin natin. Magdadagdag tayo ng isa doon sa ating number na nasa left ng ating rounding digit. At ang rounding digit natin ay 5, ay 9, at ang nasa left nito ay 5. Magdadagdag tayo ng isa, kaya magiging itong 6. So our final answer is 37 and 60 hundredths. So parang nagdagdag tayo ng isa dun sa 59 hundredths. 59 plus 1, naging siyang 60. Next, 17 and 428 thousandths. And we need to round up. What will be our answer? And if your answer is 17 and 43 hundredths, you are doing wonderful. Next, 30 and 361 thousandths. And we need to round down. And our answer is 30 and 36 hundredths. I hope you get all the correct answers in rounding off the decimal numbers to the nearest hundredths. Tandaan na sa pag-read ng decimals, napakahalaga na alam mo ang tamang pagbasa at pagsulat ng mga decimal numbers. Napakahalaga din na alam mo kung ano ang place value at value ng bawat digit sa isang number. Di lang dito mahalaga ang mga ito or hindi lang dito magagamit ang kaalamang ito. Bagkus magagamit pa natin ito sa mga susunod nating aralin. Kaya kids, huwag kakalimutan ang place value and value of a digit. Huwag din kakalimutan ang reading and writing decimal numbers. At isang matagumpay na araw na naman ang ating natapos. Naway nag-umapaw kayo sa tuwa at naging malinaw ang ating aralin sa Math 5. Laging tandaan na maraming paraan para matuto sa matematika. And with ETULAY and with Tutor Jordan, everything is golden. Maraming salamat po.